How's it going, fish fanatics? Austin here, finally back with another Fintastic Freaks video. So yeah, it's been a hot minute since I made my last video. More like a hot 2 weeks, but either way, it's been a while. In case you're wondering where I've been this whole time, I did a live stream about a week ago explaining some things that went on in recent events for me, as well as explaining why it had been so long since I made a video. Really never made an actual video last week, and haven't until now. So if you're curious and want to know kind of what's going on and why it has been the way it has been, I suggest checking that out. But in today's video, I wanted to give a quick little update about a couple new fish that I've gotten. And they resemble one of the fish that I don't show off a whole lot, but it seems like every time I do, you guys always love seeing them. As, in my mind, these fish are one of the most simplistic in the hobby, but at the same time, in my mind, they're also one of the most majestic. Of course, I'm talking about goldfish. So to those of you that may not have seen this tank before, or just for a refresher, this here is my 125-gallon goldfish community tank, where I house 6 comet goldfish. The smallest one is about 5 inches currently. We also have 3 dojo loaches, and within that group we also have a black and orange telescope eye fantail, which you see there. We also have 2 orange and white, I believe, Oranda fantails. I could be wrong there. I always forget what they actually are. As well as a calico fantail. And somewhere here in this tank as well is a albino bristlenose pleco.
Hello!
Ah, there's a pleco hanging out by our gold dragon right here. He's done a great job of keeping the algae down in here. Remember the last time we saw this tank? Look at how much improved this tank looks now that he's had a little over a month's time to touch up the fake plants in here. This is one of my only 2 fake planted tanks in my entire fish room of 20 plus tanks. And he's done a good job of cleaning everything up, the glass, decor, and making everything look nice. Part of the reason I'm showing off my goldies here is we got 2 new goldies now to the fish room here, but they're a little small, so they're not in this tank just yet. Instead, we have them inside this 20-gallon tank right here, where they can grow out a little bit, and hopefully we can get them to catch up with those big guys in there, and after a little bit of time, however long it takes, eventually have them join the party there in the 125. So hanging out towards the back of the tank currently is our bubble eye fantail. He kind of reminds me of the telescope eye that we have in the 125, only instead of black and orange, this little guy is mostly orange with little tips of white on his fins, as you can see back there, which I think is just an equally beautiful combination. And then up here towards the top, where he usually likes to hang, is a black lionhead fantail. And you might see it on the video, you might not, but I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but when we bought these 2, the fish store owner where I got them here in the Omaha area thought that this little guy might be blind or nearly blind. I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but we looked on him and it might just be that his eyes are as dark as the rest of his body, but you know, it looks a little abnormal to what it usually does, but so far he hasn't had any trouble really running into things, and whenever we feed him he's able to locate the food just fine, so that could be just what it is. But overall, nonetheless, real cool fish, and love just the all black on him. I think it's a little mix up of what I have for other goldfish. That, and of course, don't have a lion head yet, so once this little guy grows up and joins the crew in the 125, which is going to be a ways out for him and the bubble eye here, I think these 2 are going to be a fantastic addition to the 125. To those of you that may be wondering the question why I have these 2 little fish inside a 20 and didn't just put them in with the other goldfish in the 125, especially with the little black lion head here, as small as he was, I was afraid that he may actually fit in some other the bigger goldfish's mouths, which obviously is not a good deal. If a little fish can fit in a bigger fish's mouth, the likelihood of that little fish getting eaten is unfortunately pretty high. And obviously these goldfish were, well, you know, don't want them to be just an expensive snack, as that would also be quite cruel to these guys too. So instead, we're just gonna go ahead and let them grow out for, again, however long they need to inside this 20-gallon tank. Might upgrade them to a 40-gallon breeder or something down the road so they can grow out if that's necessary. But for right now, this 20-gallon tank will serve as a temporary home for them to grow out, and hopefully before too long, after a few months or something, or whatever it takes, as I said earlier, we'll add them to the rest of the crew there in the 125 community tank. Another question you guys might have is, what happened to Frozone and the Tetras that used to be inside this 20-gallon tank? They are still down here with us in the fish room. They've just got moved to a new tank down there. So Frozone and the Glassfin Blood Tetra and my two Black Emperor Tetras have been moved into this 10-gallon tank, which is due for a water change pretty soon here. I can always tell when the water level gets down a little bit. It's kind of like my timer of saying it when it's time for a water change, or I guess that's kind of my system. But Frozone here and the rest of the crew are living now in this 10-gallon tank, and honestly, I kind of like how it looks with the barrels in here. It looks like a more complete deal and able to get more of that depth of the substrate here that I kind of like. I kind of like to get my substrate at least an inch to an inch and a half deep. It just helps make better root systems with my live plants, or at least that's what's helped me get success. That and the barrels there, great look to me. So Frozone, who is a white crown tail beta, those of you wondering, and his tank mates have now been in this 10-gallon tank for about 2 weeks now. I went ahead and took out the 40-gallon sponge filter that originally was in their 20-gallon home where the Goldfish are now, to help cycle this 10-gallon tank quickly, which is a great cheat code for really speeding up the nitrate cycle when sending up a new tank, as long as the sponge filter can filter out more gallons capacity than the size of the tank that you're putting in, or at least that's my system with it. And at some point I need to put a background back there, as I think that's going to help the fish also feel more at home. It'll also help the tank look better, because honestly, cords and power strips are not exactly the most natural looking background for an aquarium. And while we're down here looking at this 10-gallon tank, I'm thinking of putting some more down here as well. And as you see right there, we got another 10-gallon tank that's currently open and open for some possibilities. If you have some suggestions for what we can put in that 10-gallon tank, let me know what you would do with this 10-gallon tank in the comments below. Obviously, we're gonna have to do some cleaning down here, but after we tidy this bottom part of the table up, we'll have that 10-gallon tank running up and well with this other one, have a couple of nice looking tanks, and think between the two here, we can maybe fit a 20-gallon long, for sure another 10 down here. I went ahead and put in another board because the original piece of wood here on the table here is, yeah, only that thick. So 2 10-gallon tanks even probably would bring potentially catastrophic results on a wood of just that little of thickness. But with this new board here that I've added on to put strength here at the bottom, I think we would be okay with putting a 20-gallon long there, but maybe we just play it safe and put a 10 there. Let me know what you guys think. So yes, got a couple of updates here. Some fish have moved to a new tank, which I think is still gonna suit them just fine. And 2 new Goldies down here that'll grow up and hopefully soon join the rest of the crew in that 125 right there. But let me know what you think of this little fish room update. Let me know what you think of the new Goldies, as well as Frozone and the Tetra's new tank in the comments below. And if you like this kind of a video where I show off the new fish, as well as just a little fish room update, give this video a thumbs up. And in addition to that, keep an eye open for another video coming out here shortly, as we have a fun, or in my mind at least, an interesting little milestone coming up with one of our main fish right here. Fish folk, thank you for watching my video and all the continued support that you give time and time again here, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay fantastic.